The silent struggle, understanding high-functioning depression. Did you know that millions of people might be battling depression without even realizing it? It's true. High-functioning depression is a very real thing, and it often goes unnoticed because those affected seem fine on the surface. They're holding down jobs, maintaining relationships, and generally going through the motions of life. But beneath the surface, there's a constant struggle with sadness, emptiness, and a loss of interest in things they once enjoyed. In today's fast-paced world, we're constantly bombarded with messages about productivity and success. It's easy to feel like we have to be on all the time, and admitting to struggling can feel like a sign of weakness. But the truth is, mental health is just as important as physical health, and ignoring the signs of high-functioning depression can have serious consequences. In this video, we're going to delve into the often misunderstood world of high-functioning depression. We'll talk about the symptoms, the challenges, and most importantly, the steps you can take to get help if you're struggling. Unmasking the misconceptions, what depression really looks like. When we think of depression, we often picture someone who can barely get out of bed, who's withdrawn from life and visibly struggling. And while that can be true for some, it's not the whole picture. High-functioning depression often hides in plain sight. People with high-functioning depression might be incredibly good at masking their symptoms. They might excel at work, be socially active, and even appear upbeat and positive. But deep down, they're fighting a constant battle with their inner demons. One of the biggest misconceptions is that if someone is successful or appears to have it together, they can't possibly be depressed. But the truth is, depression doesn't discriminate. It can affect anyone regardless of their age, background, or achievements. This misconception can be incredibly isolating for those with high-functioning depression. They might feel like they can't talk about their struggles because they're afraid of being judged or not taken seriously. It's important to remember that depression is a complex illness, and there's no one-size-fits-all experience. Just because someone doesn't fit the stereotypical image of depression doesn't mean their struggles are any less real. So how do we challenge these misconceptions? By starting open and honest conversations about mental health. By educating ourselves and others about the different ways depression can manifest. And by creating a space where people feel safe to reach out for help without fear of judgment. Remember, you're not alone in this. Behind the smile. Recognizing the symptoms of high-functioning depression. So, how can you tell if you or someone you know might be struggling with high-functioning depression? Well, it's not always easy, but there are some common signs to look out for. One of the most prevalent symptoms is this persistent feeling of emptiness or sadness, like a gray cloud is always following you, even when you're doing things you used to enjoy. It's like the joy has been sucked out of everything. You might find yourself feeling constantly exhausted, even if you're getting enough sleep. Simple tasks that you used to breeze through now feel overwhelming. It's like you're dragging yourself through quicksand every day. Another common symptom is difficulty concentrating and making decisions. It's like your brain is in a fog and you just can't seem to focus on anything. This can make it really tough to be productive at work or school. You might also notice changes in your sleep patterns. Some people with high-functioning depression sleep too much, using sleep as an escape from their feelings. Others struggle to fall asleep or stay asleep, their minds racing with anxious thoughts. And then, there's the guilt and the self-criticism. You might constantly feel like you're not good enough, like you're a failure, even when you're achieving things. This negative self-talk can be incredibly damaging to your self-esteem. It's important to remember that these symptoms can vary from person to person. You might experience all of them, or just a few, and the intensity of these symptoms can fluctuate over time. But if you're noticing any of these signs and they're starting to interfere with your daily life, it's crucial to reach out for help. Chapter 3. The Power of Acknowledgement. Why recognizing high-functioning depression matters. You know, one of the most important things about understanding high-functioning depression is recognizing that it's not a weakness. It doesn't mean you're not strong enough or capable enough. It's just a sign that your brain is asking for a little help, just like any other part of your body might. Think of it this way. If you sprained your ankle, you wouldn't just ignore it and hope it goes away on its own, right? You'd probably rest it, ice it, maybe even see a doctor. Mental health is no different. Ignoring the signs of high-functioning depression won't make it go away. In fact, it can actually make things worse over time. The longer you wait to seek help, the more entrenched those negative thought patterns can become. But here's the good news. Recognizing that you might be struggling is a huge step in the right direction. It takes courage to acknowledge that you need support, and it's a sign of strength, not weakness. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable and ask for help, you're opening yourself up to the possibility of healing and recovery, and trust me, recovery is possible. There are so many resources available to help you manage high-functioning depression, from therapy and support groups to medication and lifestyle changes. The key is to find what works best for you and to be patient with yourself along the way. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. There are people who care about you and want to help you feel better. And by taking that first step of acknowledging your struggles, you're taking a powerful step towards a brighter future. Chapter 4, Signs Recap, Taking Another Look. Let's take a moment to recap those key signs of high-functioning depression we talked about. Remember, these are just some common symptoms, and everyone's experience is unique. First, that persistent feeling of sadness or emptiness, like a weight on your chest that never seems to lift. It's not just a case of the blues, it's a deeper, more pervasive feeling of despair. Then there's the fatigue, the exhaustion that never seems to go away no matter how much sleep you get. It's like your battery is constantly drained, making it hard to muster the energy for even simple tasks. Difficulty concentrating and making decisions is another hallmark of high-functioning depression. The brain fog can be overwhelming, making it tough to focus on work, school, or even conversations with loved ones. Changes in sleep patterns are also common, whether it's sleeping too much to escape from feelings or struggling to fall asleep due to racing thoughts and anxiety. And let's not forget about the guilt and self-criticism, the constant negative self-talk that chips away at your self-esteem. It's like having a harsh inner critic that never seems to let up. If you're noticing any of these signs in yourself or someone you care about, please remember that you're not alone. Reaching out for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. There's no shame in asking for support, and there are people who care about you and want to help you feel better. You deserve to live a life filled with joy, purpose, and meaning. Chapter 5. Your Story Matters. Let's keep the conversation going. Well, we've covered a lot of ground today, haven't we? We've talked about the misconceptions surrounding depression, the often hidden symptoms of high-functioning depression, and the importance of recognizing that it's okay to ask for help. But this conversation doesn't end here. In fact, it's just the beginning. Now, it's your turn to share your thoughts and experiences. Have you ever struggled with high-functioning depression? What helped you cope? What do you wish more people understood about this condition? Let's create a safe and supportive space in the comments section below to continue this important conversation. Your story matters, and your voice deserves to be heard. And if you're looking for more information on mental health resources and support, be sure to check out the link in the description box below. It's full of helpful information and links to organizations that can provide guidance and support. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. There are people who care about you and want to help you feel better. Take care of yourselves and keep those conversations going. So, we've talked a lot about high-functioning depression, and I know it can feel heavy, but I want to leave you with a sense of hope. Because here's the thing, you are not alone. Millions of people around the world are battling this condition, and there is help available. Remember that seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. It takes courage to acknowledge that you need support, and it's a sign that you're committed to taking care of yourself. And taking care of yourself is not selfish, it's essential. So, if you're struggling, please reach out. Talk to a trusted friend, family member, therapist, or doctor. There are people who care about you and want to help you feel better. And never forget that recovery is possible. You are stronger than you think, and you deserve to live a life filled with joy, purpose, and meaning.